Good day to you on this Saturday. Thank you for coming back to the Bernie Show channel here on YouTube. The support has been phenomenal. I am so appreciative. Thank you so much. Tell your friends, family members to subscribe, hit that like button, all that good stuff I need to build this audience. Anyway, rare Saturday video, but I'm going to be doing more of these now that we're moving into the fall sports season. But what I wanted to talk about was just, of course, the Cardinals they won their third straight last night, 6-1. They beat Minnesota in the series opener. But the offense did some really good things. But I want to move that aside for now because I want to talk about Andre Pallante. He was outstanding again last night. 7 innings, 5 singles, 2 walks, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. And this continued a roll for Pallante. His last 3 starts, he's got a 1.83 ERA. Pretty good. Real good. And the fact is, since Pallante moved into the starting rotation on May the 29th, he's made 14 starts, and he's got the best ERA among Cardinal starting pitchers, the guys that have made at least 3 starts, right? Let me read it to you, okay? Here are the starting pitching ERAs since May the 29th. 3 start minimum. Pallante, 3.52. Sonny Gray, 4.73. Lance Lynn, 4.78. Kyle Gibson, 4.79. Miles Mikolas, 4.87. Eric Fedde, the newcomer, 4.98. And then you got Libator in there, but he only made 3 starts, but it's like almost 5 runs per game. So what's interesting about that list? Oh, I think you know what's interesting about that list. Their best starting pitcher in terms of ERA, and really fielding independent ERA has been really good too. Not as good as Sonny Gray's, but really good. The best guy has been Andre Pallante. And if we would still agree that because of his strikeout stuff, his wipeout stuff, that maybe Gray still should be considered better than Pallante. Listen, I get that. My point is not to bag on these other guys. I'm just saying Pallante's been outstanding. And when you're down to little over 30 games left in the season and you got to win as many as you can, don't you think you're obligated to start your best 5 guys when you put together your rotation for the stretch run? I kind of think you do. But we know how the Cardinals roll. And could Pallante be the odd man out when Lance Lynn and Steven Matz return really soon from their injury rehab assignments and all that stuff? So when that happens, when they get back, Cardinals are going to have 7 starting pitchers in no particular order: Gray, Gibson, Fedde, Mikolas, Lynn, Matz, and Pallante. Now, it's good to have depth. And I'm not being a smart aleck. It is. It's good to have 7 guys that you can send out there. Well, I don't know how good some of them would be, but you get my point. I fear that this is going to go a certain way, not because of the actual pitching performance, but the politics of payroll, the politics of you make a trade for a guy like Fedde. Hey, listen, we signed Sonny Gray, $75 million contract. Well, he's going to be in the rotation. Well, he should be, but I'm just saying. We gave Miles Mikolas a lot of money, $18.5 million this year. He's going to make $18.5 million guaranteed next year. Well, that's our guy. We're paying him for a reason. He's going to be in there, even though Mikolas has got it's like the 2nd or 3rd worst starting pitching ERA since the start of the last season. Oh, never mind about that. You're paying him, so he's got to be in there no matter what, right? That's also the Cardinal way. Kyle Gibson, well, we brought him in for $10-12 million. He's going to be in there. Lance Lynn, we wanted him for his leadership. We wanted this. We wanted that. He's going to be in there. Steven Matz, we gave him $44 million, and if he's healthy, he's going to pitch. So you see where this might be headed. Fedde, well, we traded for him. We traded for him for a reason. We're not going to bounce him. And I'm glad they traded for Fedde. He's been very underwhelming so far. But again, I think starting next year, particularly, it'll be nice to have him in the rotation. So what are they going to do? Are they going to move the guy with the 3.52 ERA out of the rotation? A guy that's been lights out his last 3 starts? A guy that has done a lot of work to improve his performance against right-handed batters. You remember he had kind of those weird splits. Pallante, his right-handed pitcher, used to be really tough, or he still is tough on left-handed batters, but he'd get beat up by right-handed batters. That's one of those weird reverse platoon things. So anyway, but he's straightened that out. He really has since he's moved into the rotation this year. 14 starts, right-handed batters are hitting 248 against him, 315 on base percentage, 366 slug, 52% ground ball rate, keeping the ball in the park, way less than a home run per 9 innings, right-handed hitters. And then if he's kind of fine-tuned his sinker. He's done some different things with his four-seamer. It's given it a different shape. His stuff really moves now. He sort of comes at hitters from a standpoint where he has the ball when he's setting up. He has the ball way behind his back and very low, relatively speaking, to the ground. And so by the time he comes over the top, they have a hard time picking up on that thing because it's out of his hand so fast and they haven't had a chance to look at it. And then it's moving really fast. He's not like a big-time velo guy, but that's not the point. He's got great movement on his pitches. So anyway, his last 10 starts, right-handed batters have hit only 220 against Andre Pallante. 220. They have an on-base percentage of, less than 300. The slugging percentage is a little more than 300. So here you have a guy. He's very, very effective against left-handed hitters. Now he's very, very effective against right-handed hitters. All right. I'm not Dave Duncan, okay? But isn't that what you want? Don't you want a starting pitcher who's going to be consistent? He's going to give you innings. He's going to be equally effective against left-handed hitters and right-handed hitters. And you have an excellent infield defense. You really do. The Cardinals are still way up there in defensive run save for their infielders. And he gets a lot of ground balls. I mean, he gets a lot of ground balls from left-handed hitters and a really high rate with right-handed hitters. So you got the defense that really is going to make him a better pitcher because he's going to get all those ground balls. So let's see, recap. Best ERA in the rotation since May the 29th. High ground ball rate against right-handed batters, left-handed batters. He has a very low home run rate allowed. I mean, very low, by far the best on the team among starting pitchers. And he's a guy that has improved exactly where you needed him to improve. His ability to subdue and shut down right-handed batters. So where's this going? Andre Pallante is bringing a lot of really good things to the mound when he's going to work every 5 days. Really good things. Is he really going to be the odd man out when they got to make these tough decisions? Is that really what's going to happen here? Does that concern you? It concerns me because it's the principle of the matter. This season's late. And they're still, as we record this today, they're still 10 games out of first. I don't even look at first place in the division. Cardinals are still 5 games out in the wild card spot, 5 games behind Atlanta, who's in the third spot. They're tied with the Giants, and they're chasing the Mets. I think the Mets are 2.5 games ahead of the Cardinals. You don't have a lot of time to fool around here. You got to go with your best people, period. Right? But I know the Cardinals. You know the Cardinals too. And there's a really good chance they're going to make decisions on this particular matter on factors that have very little to do with actual performance. It's like, well, we got to trade it for Fedde. We signed all these other guys, gave Matz all that money. We gave Mikolas all that money. We're paying these guys. We're going to use them. And in the past, when I've asked John Mozeliak about this, that's always been his standard answer. And that's been supported by the decisions they made. So we're going to learn a little bit more about their commitment to winning, aren't we? And whether payroll concerns or payroll politics interferes with actually putting your best people out there. I mean, it's just a shame you even have to talk about this. But that's kind of the state of St. Louis Cardinals baseball. the last, well, I'm not going to tell you how many years because we all know it's been a while. That's kind of the state of the way Cardinals operate things under this regime. I have a prediction. Now, this is not a hard prediction. I wouldn't bet money on it. But I'm going to tell you right now how the Cardinals will justify a decision to move Andre Pallante out of the rotation and into the bullpen. You say, well, how could they justify it? I know how these people think. I know how they roll. They are predictable as all get out, right? And here it is. And I got to go to a stat. Andre Pallante as a starting pitcher this season, first time through a lineup, the opponent's lineup, the first time through 1.42 ERA. That ERA goes up the second time through, it's not good. Third time through, it's okay, not 1.42. So I can envision a little meeting about what they're going to do with 7 starting pitchers. First of all, Matz has got to go to the bullpen. Forget about starting him. Come on. Don't insult the intelligence of your fans, right? What are they going to do? All right. I envision this kind of meeting. I'm not going to do voices, but I envision this kind of meeting. It's like, well, geez, how are we going to explain that to the fans and the media? Because they're going to go bananas. They're going to say, well, why are you pulling the guy with the best ERA out of your rotation? The guy that's good, equally effective against left-handed hitters, right-handed hitters. Guy gets all those ground balls. His strikeouts have been a little bit better now recently, but he's got that movement, that wild movement, and it's hard to see the ball come out of his hands. So, boy, what can we say? How can we spin this? Well, first of all, with Armida, you don't have to worry about that too much because it's okay. Whatever you say. Oh yeah, it sounds good. Let me write that down. I got to shut up about that because I repeated this. I'll repeat something I said previous video. I was guilty of that stuff at one point in my career. Not anymore, though. I've been that way for a long time. All right, let me get to the point. Here's how they're going to justify it. They're going to say, well, Pallante's so good when he starts a game in the first time through the batting order. And he wasn't last night, but that's not the point. He's so good. See, that's a guy you want coming out of the bullpen because he comes out strong and his best ERA is like the first 9 batters he faces, and then it gets worse. Well, that's what you want in a reliever, right? Guy coming out with his best stuff right away. Oh, by the way, it doesn't matter about the lefty or the righty matchups because he's good against guys both sides of the plate. He gets those ground balls. We got the good defense behind him. Listen, I don't want to be dishonest here. You can make that case. There's some merit to that argument, and it's supported by stats. But that's really not the point. As a general principle, are you really going to take the guy that's got the best starting pitching ERA since the end of May and put him in the bullpen and continue to ride with guys that keep getting beaten up, right? Well, we're going to find out. It's a very interesting situation and a bit of a credibility check. This isn't May the 15th, man. We're sitting here on August the 24th, and times are running out. My time's running out. That'll do it for today's video. I appreciate y'all for being here, and we'll keep bringing these to you. That's why I decided to do one on a Saturday. So you have a great weekend, the rest of the weekend, and we'll be back Monday morning here on The Bernie Show on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much.